Have you ever been fired? If you have, then you probably know that it's a pretty crummy feeling. Now imagine if you were a Hollywood actor and you got fired from a job that could have made you millions. That's something that a lot of celebrities have gone through, so let's talk about a few of them as we count down the top 10 actors who were fired for the craziest reasons 2021. At number 10, Mark Webber. Actor Mark Webber, known for his part in the film Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, took to social media back in 2019 and he had some harsh words for TV network ABC after he was fired from their show Stumptown. At the time, Stumptown had just been picked up by the network and the production was getting underway, with Mark being cast in the lead role as the best friend and love interest opposite Colby Smolder's character Dax, whom the show is centered around. Soon after production started, Mark was reportedly fired from the show, and the actor said that the studio had let him go because he wasn't, quote, handsome enough for the executives. In response to his unemployment, he took to Twitter to blast the network, calling their choice degrading, and in one of his many tweets slamming ABC, he said, quote, "Look, I'm a straight white male, so I know my journey has been way less painful in this warped industry, but I'm being recast in a television show because I'm not handsome enough for the executives. It's important for me to share the real pain we endure in this industry," end quote. He also spoke out about how the industry cares so much about the appearances of their stars, saying how things really need to be changed. At number 9, Robert Downey Jr. We all know that Robert Downey Jr. is one of the most successful actors in Hollywood, coming from his rise to fame after hitting rock bottom in the past. After rebuilding his career, he really could have had any role he wanted because he's such a big name in the industry, but it seems as though even the most successful actors can still get fired. Robert was actually fired from the set of the movie Gravity after a last-minute decision was made to recast him. We know that the 2013 film Gravity stars George Clooney as a leading male, but that role was first given to RDJ. After a few days of filming, the director decided that Robert was not suited to play this role. When speaking out about the recast, the film's director said, quote, "Robert is incredibly talented, but the technological aspects of the movie presented a big obstacle to his style of acting," end quote. Clooney soon replaced Robert and the film went on to be a huge success, but I wonder how different things would have been without the recast. Now before I carry on with the list, I'd like to take a moment to ask you guys to consider leaving a like on this video if you're enjoying it so far, because it really does help the channel out. At number 8, Ryan Gosling. Ryan Gosling is one of Hollywood's most famous actors, but he is also someone who's experienced getting fired, and it happened very early on in his career. Back in the 90s, Ryan was part of the Mickey Mouse Club alongside stars like Justin Timberlake, Christina Aguilera, and Britney Spears, but after some drama on set, Ryan got fired from Disney. Ryan didn't stick around too long on the show, and in an interview in 2008, Ryan opened up about his 2 years on the Disney Channel, where he revealed that things didn't work out well between him and the studio. The actor revealed that the producers from the Disney Channel show thought that Ryan had a bit of an attitude problem and was seen as a bad influence on the other kids. The actor also went on to say that he was apparently considered to be such a menace to the other kids that the mothers of his co-stars went to execs to complain about his behavior. The studio eventually decided that Ryan wasn't Disney material because of his behavior, and he was soon let go. At number 7, Adrienne Bailon. Speaking of another former Disney star, the Cheetah Girls actress Adrienne Bailon is another celebrity who's been fired from the studio. The Cheetah Girls films were another set of hit films from the Disney Channel, and obviously because of the film's huge success and the fan base that it created, the film stars had to conform to the harsh standards that other Disney stars had to. After making 3 films with Disney, Adrienne Bailon decided that she didn't want to stay in her Disney bubble forever and was looking to branch out from Disney and step into roles that were more suited for her age. Being in her 20s at the time, she wanted to step away from these films, and so to do that, she came up with a plan to end her contract. Adrienne allegedly ended up leaking her own private photos, causing a stir online and in the media. This bad press was obviously not good for Disney, and so they were forced to let her go. It did hurt her career a little bit, but she achieved the outcome that she was looking for, and she got to end her contract with Disney. At number 6, Kuma the dog. Now you're probably going to think that this one is a bit of a stretch because he's not a celebrity in the traditional sense, but he helped sell a lot for Disney and he got fired in the end, so I figured I needed to tell his story. I'm not sure how many of you would be familiar with the show Dog with a Blog, but for those who may be unfamiliar, the title says it all. It's a Disney Channel show about a family dog who wrote a blog. To get the show up and running, the studio needed to cast a dog to do stunts and tricks for the camera, but apparently there came a scandal between the dog who was originally cast and the dog who actually starred in the show. When the role was first cast, the part went to a performing dog named Kuma. Kuma was in all of the promotional material, the photos, and the first 5 episodes of the show. He was the best fit for the role because of his experience, but all of a sudden his owner got a notice saying that they were fired, and it was for an insane reason. Before this, Kuma's owner had been raising concerns over her dog's well-being on set, saying that Kuma had been overworked, having to be on for 12 to 14 hours a day. The stress of working affected Kuma so much that he developed health issues, and on top of that, the owner claimed that they were being underpaid for their work. This all ended when Kuma was fired and replaced by another, less experienced dog, so that they didn't have to adjust the rules and place any new guidelines in place for the animal's safety. At number 5, Bella Thorne. Bella Thorne rose to fame through her time on the Disney Channel and starring in the show Shake It Up, but like many other former Disney stars, Bella began to crack under pressure of conforming herself to Disney standards, and it resulted in her almost getting fired. Almost. She was given so many warnings that she really feared for her job at one point, so things were really serious. Because Disney stars like Bella are asked to conform to a specific brand image, whenever Bella would dress in something that the company considered too revealing, like a crop top or a bikini, some executives got really upset and they reprimanded her. All Bella wanted to do was be herself, but instead she had to wear company-approved clothing and even speak in a higher register to sound more innocent. Dumb. Bella kept on pushing until they were fed up with her, and they were so close to firing her. Bella finally pulled the plug on her Disney contract and left the company to be more herself, but her career was in serious jeopardy for a while there. At number 4, Megan Fox. Megan Fox had been in a few pretty successful films before being cast in the Transformers films, but after the success of this franchise, she was launched into fame. At least that's until things came crashing down after getting fired from her role and facing a lot of backlash because of it. When she was fired from Transformers, Michael Bay said that the decision came after she was, quote, a nightmare to work with. What really happened is that Megan made a comment about Michael Bay's behavior on set, commenting on how strict he was and comparing him to a really bad guy whose name cannot be said online, but I'm pretty sure you catch my drift. On top of everything, when fellow director Steven Spielberg caught wind of these comments, he advised Bay to fire her, and that is exactly what happened. Megan lost her job and gained a reputation of being hard to work with, which followed her for many years. She was cast in a pretty negative light for a long time, but she's happy living her truth, not caring about what Hollywood has to say about her. At number 3, Natalie Portman. Are you familiar with the 1996 film Romeo and Juliet? If you are, then you would recall that the film stars Leonardo DiCaprio and Claire Danes, but it turns out that Claire wasn't the first pick for the role and someone had to be fired in order for her to get the part. Originally, Natalie Portman was cast to play the role of Juliet. At the time, Natalie was 13 years old, and though that is canonically how old Juliet was in the original Shakespeare play, the film's executives thought it would be a little too weird if the 13-year-old Natalie starred in the film alongside a 21-year-old Leo. Natalie spoke out about getting fired from the film years later in an interview where she said, quote, "It was really disappointing, but I wouldn't have wanted to be in a movie and have it look wrong." End quote. The decision was made in the film's best interest, and Natalie is okay with being fired back then, but it still must have been devastating to get booted from the production, especially as someone just starting out in the industry. At number 2, Eric Stoltz. Sometimes when people cast a role in a Hollywood production, they can later decide that whoever has been hired isn't really the best fit. This is what happened during the production of Back to the Future, as a sudden casting change left someone getting fired. The role of Marty McFly in the film originally went to actor Eric Stoltz, and they had filmed a substantial amount of footage with Eric as the leading man, but later the filmmakers reviewed the footage and decided that he just wasn't fit for the role. The executives thought that Eric's portrayal of the character was a little too serious, and they really wanted Marty to be a little more laid back and goofy, so they needed someone to fit that style. They ended up firing Eric and brought in Michael J. Fox to fill the role, reshooting many of the scenes that Eric had previously done. Though the final cut of the film is mostly Michael's work, it is believed that a few of Eric's scenes made it in, so that's a little fun Easter egg to look for next time you watch Back to the Future. And finally, at number 1, Christian Bale. The 2000 movie American Psycho stars actor Christian Bale as Patrick Bateman, and I'm sure we can all agree that he absolutely crushed this role, but there was once a chance that he wouldn't have even been able to play the part. You see, when the movie was first being cast, the producer's first choice for the role of Patrick Bateman was actually Leonardo DiCaprio, and even though they had already given the part to Christian Bale, they ended up firing the actor in order to go with Leo instead. Christian was then out of a job, but not for long, because Leo ended up having to drop out of the production because he was warned that this film would have had a negative impact on his career because of the harsh content. That was good news for Bale, as he was rehired for the role, and it was like nothing had even happened in the first place. Now, I want you guys to let me know which celebrity on this list surprised you the most. Turns out that you can get fired for all kinds of reasons in Hollywood, so let me know which one you thought was the most bizarre case down in the comments. Anyways, that's it for this video. I've been your host, Bree Room, and until next time, stay safe, make good choices, and stay groovy, friends. Bye!